Hello everyone, happy Monday. I hope you had an amazing week last week and you had an incredible weekend. I just got back from Wisconsin on Friday evening, just in time to see Daphne in her production of Music Man Jr. It only took 2 flights and a 3.5-hour drive, but I made it and I'm so glad I did because the production was just very well done and it looked like the kids were having a blast up there on stage. Before we dive into my key takeaways today, I wanted to make sure I introduce myself if we haven't already met yet. My name is Yang Pratt, and for the past 17 years, I have been running a performing arts school. And recently, I have transitioned or pivoted into being the chief dreamer, change maker, and podcaster right here at Our Young Creators. Here at OYC, hi Angie, so good to see you. Here at OYC, we are committed to equipping kids with real-world skills like podcasting so that they can not only go out there and create their brighter futures, they can serve others, and most importantly, fund their futures in the process. I'm so glad you tuned in today because today we're talking about our beliefs. And I wanted to dive in a little bit into Stacy's presentation at She's Building Her Empire Live last week. Now, Angie was there live with me last week. She and I just connected about 4 weeks ago now in a coaching group to get better at doing live video and using video to propel our businesses. I asked her if she was interested in meeting me in Milwaukee and coming to the event, and thankfully she said yes because she and I were able to meet in person, which is such a novelty almost because we meet so many people online. We don't often always have the chance to connect one-on-one in person. So Angie, thank you for saying yes. Thanks for hanging out with me and sharing my last meal in Wisconsin of cheese curds and Brussels sprouts. It was stellar. Yes, I'm glad you said yes. So today we're talking about beliefs. And if you've ever heard of the law of attraction, this belief kind of falls into the beliefs that we feel, that the beliefs we have about ourselves, about what we can and can't do, who we are, who we aren't, and it all is encompassed together. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk more about manifestation and the 12 universal laws, not just the law of attraction, but today I wanted to talk into this idea about beliefs. And it really has to do also with the 5-day challenge Stacy Tuschl, who was the host of She's Building Her Empire Live in Milwaukee. She's doing a 5-day challenge following the week at the live event, which as a business owner seems a bit crazy, but as someone who was there, I'm so grateful that she did it today because after you leave a live event and you get to interact with lots of different people and you come home and you're kind of back in your real life, the glow and the magic and the energy starts to slowly fade away and diminish. Knowing that, today I spent my entire morning going back through my notes, planning out what I was going to share with you this week, and really being intentional with keeping this glow, keeping this fire going throughout the week and beyond. Today was day number 1 of Stacy's challenge, all about being limitless. From the time we are little, we hear lots of different messages from those who love us, those we surround ourselves with, and some of those messages are positive and others not so much. The reality is, though, we sometimes take those not so positive thoughts and beliefs about ourselves and carry them into the future. For instance, when I was in elementary school, I wasn't really great at math. We moved to different houses throughout my elementary school period, and in that time, I went to 3 different schools. And as you can imagine, the level of math at those 3 schools varied. I went from one school where I was top of my math class, doing exceptionally well. I moved to another school and I was not doing so well. And when I moved to that 3rd school, they finally just said to my parents, she's really struggling, she's not doing great. And because I kept hearing my parents say this over and over, and my teacher reminding me that I wasn't good at math or it wasn't my strong suit, that I should work on this weakness until it became my strength. And while I know that advice came from them from a loving place of helping me to want to get better at it, I grew up thinking that I was just terrible at math, that it wasn't good, that I wasn't good at it, that I shouldn't try to go to college to get a major in anything that had to do with math. However, I did go to college and study sciences, which did include a lot of math. And in the process, I found an amazing, amazing math teacher. And all those struggles for all those years, all those voices in the back of my head saying I wasn't good at math, that math is not fun, that I should do something other than study math and sciences. All of those thoughts faded away as this teacher in a summer school class embraced me and said, you can do this. You are doing awesome. I believe in you. The class is here to support you. And from that moment on, I thought, or I still think, that I'm good at math because it was such a positive, affirming experience. I walked away feeling invincible and really thinking that I was on top of the world in something that I was formerly told that I was no good at. I was remediated a lot and given tools to practice those things. Meanwhile, I loved writing, I loved reading, and I excelled at those things. However, no one really pushed me to say, yes, you're really good at that, so go run with that, versus you're not good at this, so let's just work on this thing over here and make it better. It's interesting to think about these stories that we tell ourselves and the memories that we remember. Because of course, it's all based upon our other experiences from that point on. But it's interesting how some of those limiting beliefs can stick with us for so much time. Today in Stacy's challenge, she asked us to write our beliefs about who we are. How do we identify ourselves? Do we identify ourselves as this or maybe this? And we aren't just looking at the negatives, because personally that list for me could be quite long. I'm not great at a lot of things, and I'll be the first to admit that these days. However, there are things that I know that I'm good at, but I don't always remember to celebrate those things. I don't embrace those things that I'm good at doing, that I love doing, as much as those things I perceive myself not to be good at, or things I don't enjoy. So my challenge for you today is, number 1, come along this adventure with me this week in Stacy's challenge and dive into your beliefs and your limiting beliefs and help to turn those things around to become more positive so we can go forward together and be more successful. Once I'm done with this live, I will post the link to join her challenge down below. So my biggest takeaway from her presentation, going through what she's going to be going through in the challenge this week at a deeper level, was really taking the time to write down my beliefs. It's one thing to think about them, but it's another thing to write them out, because some of the things I wrote on my list, when I read them back, I thought they were silly. Meaning, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I think that about myself. And in tomorrow's discussion, we'll talk about planting the seeds and the soil and how the soil really is not judgmental when it comes to growing these plants. And if we use that as a metaphor for our life, really this idea about these beliefs is totally, I don't want to say irrelevant, but it is just the way our mind is framing this belief. Oh, thank you, Angie. Angie just put the link below in the comments to do Stacy's challenge. And I know Angie's doing the challenge this week as well, and I'm going to have to powwow with her later to catch up to make sure we're holding one another accountable for this. And I would love to hold all of you accountable and again, have you come along this adventure to explore your beliefs, to see if we can get those beliefs to be more positive, so that when we go forward every day in our lives, we are excited for where we're headed and we are living to the potential we were meant to have here on this planet. Okay, my friends, thank you for joining along with me today. Tune in tomorrow, 1:01 Pacific time again. And we're going to talk more about manifestation tomorrow and what I learned from the Manifestation Babe and the 12 laws of the universe. Yes, Angie, the challenge is great. I know we went through some of the portions of it last week at the live event, but going through them again through the lens of what we learned in those 2 days is so different than going through it the first time. So I'm excited you're in there with me. I'm excited we got to connect, and I'm excited for all the possibilities we have together, my friend, to create some more awesomeness and share things like this so we can all get better every day together. Cheers, my friends. I will catch you again tomorrow.